Hi, this is Leah. I'd like to share with you an excerpt from a talk I did recently at church. It's based on the story of Martha and Mary in the New Testament. I'm just going to read the passage. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me out." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Now, I've heard quite a few talks on this story across the years, and mostly they've been variations on a theme of kind of different roles and responsibilities and doing the work that God's looking for you to do and taking time to put your busyness aside and sit and listen to Jesus and kind of all sorts of stuff like that. In fact, when I told Jorg that I was doing a talk on this passage, he said, another bit where Jesus belittles, well, not another bit. He said, Jesus belittling kitchen work like any other bloke. So this passage really got me thinking, and I did a little bit of background research, and one thing that came out really strongly was that sitting at the disciples' feet, or sitting at Jesus's feet, was as a disciple, was very much not a woman's place. So it's kind of important to bear that in mind as we go through this passage. But what I did is I've done kind of a little thought experiment of what it might have been like being in Martha's head during that little exchange, and kind of wondering what happened next. Because if you think about the passage, it leaves it on something of a cliff edge. Well, it's always me, isn't it? It's easy for you to say, "Don't worry." Ever since our parents died and left me to bring up my crazy sister and sick brother, it's been hard work. Yes, I'm grateful for my wealth and relative independence, but it's still hard work, don't get me wrong. I mean, Mary isn't really crazy, just so impetuous, always feeling first and thinking later. And Lazarus, well, it's like he's not really all here. I basically have to do all the thinking and worrying for the three of us. It's not easy trying to own and manage this huge house without a man around. Although there are plenty, I can tell you, that would love to be more involved than I'd like them to be, take over more like. I've not really had great experiences with men, and haven't really had time for them. Well, not until I met this Jesus. Here, at last. A man who spoke to me without condescension, who understands my struggles, and doesn't just think I should go and get married and let a man take care of everything. A man who answers my questions about religion and the God that we worship, rather than just telling me it's a waste of time to teach women the Torah. Sometimes I envy Mary, her lack of attention to her responsibilities or what people think of her, her ability to just sit and listen to Jesus, never mind that she's sitting with the men in the position of a disciple. And why shouldn't she? Jesus sees her too. He understands her wild heart and knows that she doesn't fit in and doesn't really care. Why am I getting annoyed about it today? Probably just because there's so much to do and no one else to do it. And then when Jesus said that to me, well, I have to say my opinion of him went down a peg or two. I was just about to kind of roll my eyes, stomp back to the kitchen, crash about. You know, that kind of slightly aggressive way of doing work that women are pretty well adept at. But then I stopped. That can't have been what Jesus meant. That's not who he is. So I thought a while, and I took off my apron. I folded it up on the side. And I did what I think Jesus was suggesting. I went and I sat at his feet. Jesus carried on teaching. It was fascinating. It was so amazing to be there, just listening. The minutes became hours and the sun started to set. I did start to feel a bit guilty. I'm sure everyone was feeling as hungry as I was. I could kind of tell that the disciples were getting a bit annoyed. I could hear them. When are we going to eat? I was really looking forward to one of Martha's spreads. Somebody even nudged Peter. Hey, you say something. Ask Jesus. I think they even suggested that Jesus miracle up some food for them. I mean, that would be great. But instead, another tiny miracle happened. John got up. He picked up my apron, unfolded it from the side, and headed into the kitchen. The mutterings increased. People were really wondering what was going on now. But Jesus just smiled at me, a little secret smile, and kept on teaching. As he did, slowly, a couple of the other disciples started to head off into the kitchen themselves. I can tell you there was some crashing and banging about then, but Jesus didn't worry, he just carried on teaching. I mean, it was definitely dark and we were all definitely hungry, but a good while later, John came and told us that the food was ready. We sat and ate, all of us together. Now, it was not the best meal that anyone else had ever tasted, and I like to think I could have done better, but for me, it was the best food I had ever eaten.